You've seen it done in Minecraft, The Sims, even Animal Crossing. So now it is time to spend 100 days in Roblox Bloxburg. God, this is going to be a long one. However, first we need to make a brand new account to meet Stanislaw100 Days, the most original name you would ever think of. So let's get into day 1. On day 1, I was forced to sign my life away and then immediately was hit with the tutorial. And honestly, I don't know if this is because I'm a noob or I'm just bad at the game, but this fully took me 2 whole days to complete. But the reason I didn't want to skip the tutorial was because each step of the way you get money, and because I'm going to be level 0 and everything, the best way for me to get money so far is to do the tutorial. And the torture of the tutorial was over when the sun rose on day 3. On day 3, I wanted to start building, however I knew I needed more money first, and I remembered that every time you reach level 1 on each skill, you get $500, so I began leveling up every single skill I had to level 1, so that I would have more money to begin my building. And if for some reason you want to do this yourself, don't bother going to level 2 because you do not make any money and it's just a waste of time. Trust me. Day 4 began with the bulldozing of my house. She will be missed. And then with my now $17,000, I began decorating my new house. I wanted to go for like a rustic country vibe, very similar to my pre-built house. And do you know how people talk about having like eyebrow blindness or anything like that? I fear I have build blindness because I didn't even notice this at my pre-built until Flossie told me. However, this is only one of the many houses I end up building in this, so don't worry. And on day 9, I finished with $86 left to my name. But anyway, let's look at the house. When you first walk in, you have the kitchen over here, which is really cute. And then on the other side, you have the living room. At the back, we have the bedroom, which you can tell I was running out of money doing because I couldn't even afford to colour the bed. And then at the back, you can see how poor I was because I could only afford a toilet. Day 10, I began working, and I guess because on my main account, I'm max level and I have excellent employee, I never noticed how hard it is to earn money. But seriously, for the people who are starting this game, I understand why they don't want to play because it takes so long to like get any money at all. And right now I'm only showing a bit of the footage because I didn't want my MacBook to crash from filming all of this. But I continued working at Bloxburgers for, I'm not joking, the next 7 days. And the worst part was I didn't even make that much. My aim for the working initially was so I could save up to get a car. However, I knew as soon as I'd worked for that long that I did not want to buy a car because it meant I'd be broke again and have to work again, which I did not want to do. So I changed my mind and I decided to finish off the house I had and extend it a little bit. Now I thought this would be a quick process, but I guess I must be a slower builder than I thought because this ended up taking me 5 days to upgrade the house. To be fair to myself, I don't usually build without any game passes, so it was kind of like new territory for me, especially trying to work around the budget because I did not want to waste all my money, but as you'll see, I do waste all my money, but that's not the point. But honestly, considering we aren't even a quarter way through this challenge, this house is cute. And before it becomes day 24, let's have a tour. As this is the same house as before, it's the same layout, just a lot more details. We now have this small office area, as well as the bedroom, finally, is decorated. I mean, look how much better that looks. And for some reason, I forgot to film the bathroom, but I promise it's now decorated. At this point, I couldn't put it off anymore. I knew I needed a car, so I bit the bullet and began working. However, one thing I do like about the change to jobs is that I can work any job now without worrying about how much I get. To secure the boredom of doing Bloxburgers, I decided to work at the grocery store, and I worked for the next 5 days straight, which wasn't as bad as the 7 days before, and I got about the same amount. So with my levels going up, I managed to save about 2 days of working, which isn't even a lot. And by day 29, I officially had enough to buy my first, and I'll be honest, last car. I was not doing this again for just a car. But so far in this video, it made me realize how expensive things are in this game, and I feel like maybe we should just spawn with like the cheapest car, but who knows. On day 30, with the little amount of money I had left, I decided to start working on my garden, as at this point I was so overworking that I needed to come up with other ways to make money, and obviously planting stuff is a way of doing that. However, of course, I didn't have enough money, so I had to go back to Bloxburgers to work more, to buy more plants. And then I went through and planted monsteras, whatever they are, as they were the most expensive I could plant. And for some reason, this took me so long that it ended up rolling over into day 31. And this next part of the video, I'm going to have to preface saying this is probably the most embarrassing thing I will ever post, as it's a showcase of me being a complete idiot. So by this point, I was pretty burnt out. I didn't want to build, I didn't want to work, and I thought I should go and get the seashell trophy, as that's one of the things you can do in the game that isn't working or building. And I hadn't got the trophy since the observatory updated, so I did a quick Google search to see how you do find it, found this video by Regame Riot, and blindly followed it. And I'm just going to speed this all up, because little did I know that after 4 days of trying to get the seashell trophy, that this video was in fact very old and very outdated. And it wasn't until day 37 that I even noticed this, and even then it still took till day 38 for the shell to spawn. So I don't know about you, but I think that was a perfectly good use of 6 whole days. Day 39, I was hoping to be peaceful and lovely after that treacherous journey, but instead I was hit with poverty and bills. So I had to work, which I love doing. And honestly, the most humbling experience is having to turn on all your lights after you paid your bills. So far in this video, I fear my aura points may be in the negative. For the rest of day 39, I worked until the morning of day 40. And honestly, it's just so sad to see how long I'm working and how little I'm earning. It's so depressing. Day 41, I remembered my garden, so I had to go fix all my plants up, especially because they were all dying. I then proceeded to burn through all the money I just earned on more plants. Financial advice from Stanislaw strikes again. Oh, and I finally remembered to place my seashell trophy, except every time I look at it, I get a little bit triggered. Day 42 started with me getting my moods up, as I think if I fainted, I'd probably end up on the streets. And honestly, at this point, I've lost the plot. I do not want to work, so I instead decided to make my own business, building a boba stand. I built the stand on day 42 and filled it up with boba, and honestly, getting the boba I think is the first time I've used my cart in this series. So that's just another example of my bad financial choices in this game. At the end of day 42, I tried to set up business, but realised someone had my pre-built house in the game. How cute is that? I've seen 2 people with it, but to be fair, I don't play in public servers, but someone had my damn house. Day 43, I finally finished customizing my small cafe, whatever this is, and then at night I chefed up some food to sell as well as the boba. I continued cooking into day 44 until I realised my plants were dying, which honestly I completely forgot could even happen in this game, so it really caught me off guard and took me the rest of day 44 to sort out these damn sunflowers, which didn't even make me a lot of money, so I fear this is the end of my gardening journey. Day 45, I hopped into a fresh server and I decided to send out my very first invitation to my cafe, or stand, whatever this is. And I also forgot you have to pay to send invitations, so low-key this is making me even more poor. The day 45 was not very eventful, as I got one customer and made $22. Is this a joke? Day 46, I gave up with the boba stand and decided it was time to go back to having a real job. Well, as real as you can get in Bloxburg, but for day 46 and 47, I decided to work at Bloxburgers, as I really wanted to build at least one more house in this video, and I knew I needed much more money to do that. Days 48 to day 50, I decided to work at Pizza Planet, delivering pizzas, as I knew I was going to have to work for a long time, but I could not handle doing the same job for long, as I did not want to get burnt out. And plus, Pizza Planet is such an easy job to do and zone out to. I could just watch a film and not even realise that I'm playing Roblox, if that makes any sense. Day 51 and 52, I decided to be a janitor, which, honestly, I do not like this job. It's too much moving around for me. But I knew to stay motivated, I'd have to switch jobs, and honestly, janitor was better than I thought. It's just still nowhere near as good as the other ones. Days 53 and 54, I decided to work at the supermarket, and this job, honestly, pretty simple. It's kind of like pizza delivery that I can kind of zone out and do it. And finally, on day 55, I decided to work at the hairdressers, and I could not do this job for any more days because this job is so boring. Day 56, I forgot to record myself deleting my house, which does seem like kind of a big thing to forget, but whatever. And I began building my next house, which actually turns out to be the final house I build in this video. And if you want to see how I built this house, and if you want to build it yourself, I did post a full speed build on my YouTube channel. So if you want, go give that a watch, the link will be in the description. I also forgot to mention that this actually takes up until day 70, which is kind of insane that it took me 14 days to build a house, but also at the same time, these are in-game days, so I feel like it maybe isn't that weird. I don't know, this whole thing is a bit weird because I'd never really used the time in game to measure anything, so now when I am, it's oh, this is kind of weird. Day 71, I was now poor again and had to go back to work, which is the last thing I wanted to do. Hence, I only worked 2 days, as I think if I worked any more, I'd probably go mentally insane. Day 73 to 75, I went back to building. Yay, I love building. Just kidding, I actually do like building in this game, but for some reason building this house absolutely ended me. But it's fine because the house actually turned out really cute in the end, so I guess the pain was worth it. Day 76 and 77, I worked until I fainted, which was so annoying as I wanted to make it through this without fainting, but whatever. And then day 78 and 79, I built again. But don't worry, this is the last building for a little bit, so. The only thing interesting that happened on day 80 was someone knocking on my door, running inside, and then saying, "Hi, boy." So I then followed her around to see where she was going, but then it backfired. She then started following me. Day 81, I cooked some food, and then you guessed it, I went back to work. As truly, you need money to survive in this game. And I know what you're thinking, more building really, but days 82 and 83 were the final days of building, so let's just fast forward and go straight into the tour on day 84. And here is the final house. And honestly, this house eats down. And it also doesn't look like a no Gamepass house. And if you want to know how I built this house, watch the tutorial, which I will have linked in the description. When you first walk into the house, I have this open plan kitchen, which goes into this dining room area. Off the dining room, we have the first of the 2 bathrooms, and then the master bedroom, which is obviously mine. On the other side of the kitchen, we have the living room, which then goes into this office area, the second bedroom, as well as the second bathroom. Day 85, I quickly worked so that I could pay my bills, however it kind of backfired as I ended up fainting, so that's just lovely, isn't it? Day 86, I realised I was still dressed like a bacon, so I went to fix that, and I upgraded my character to look like this, which I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it just kind of does. Day 87, I wanted to do something more social, as most of this so far has been me working and building on my own, so I knocked on the door of this house, however I do not think I was very much welcome, so at that point I was so embarrassed that I had to leave the game. Day 88, I I went into the town to see the summer festival, and yes, this update was still in the game when I filmed this because I filmed this so long ago. And honestly, now that this update's been gone for 2 months, I kinda missed the festival. Oh, and I also went to the observatory, as I don't think I've actually been here since it revamped. On day 89, I drove to the top of the big hill in a car that was maybe too big, and I glided to the other side of the map as I wanted to go see the old hidden poster. I landed very gracefully, and then began the 15-minute walk to the other side of the map, taking a break halfway to ponder what am I doing with my life. I then went back to walking with the fear of fainting in the back of my mind, until after about 15 minutes of walking, I made it. I jumped down on the first try, and wasn't paranoid about falling at all, and then I found the poster. And then I realised I don't really know what the point of doing any of this was. Before the 100 days were up, I wanted to make sure I'd worked every job in the game, so here I am at Mike's Motors on day 90, as well as working as a pizza baker also on day 90. Day 91, I continued this, working as a cashier at the supermarket, and then chopping trees. Finally, on day 92 and day 93, I worked at the mining job for far too long, and honestly, I forgot this job was actually kind of fun compared to the other one. And finally, the last job I had to do was working at the ice cream parlour, which I finished on day 93. The money I had earned in the past few days, I then spent on day 94 and 95 building the garden to my house, which ended up having a fire pit, a pool, and a picnic area. Day 96, I had money left over from the garden build, and I decided I wanted my boba tea shop back, so I went back to my fridge, took out all the old bobas, which were probably disgusting by now, and decided to throw a party. And of course, only one person showed up. And I quickly remembered why I stopped doing this, as I made $5. Great. Day 97, I started thinking about what I wanted to do on day 100, and I quickly realised all my ideas required more money than I had, so I went back to work. Day 98, I realised I'd made a lot more money than I expected, as my overall job level had increased so much since the beginning, so I decided to add some final touches to the house, and mainly the garden. Day 99, I played the guitar for about 2 seconds, and then I went back to building as I was setting up for day 100. And here we finally are, day 100. And that is 100 days in Bloxburg. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it through this whole video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and let me know if you want more videos like this, such as a 100 days in Bloxburg Halloween edition or a Christmas edition. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!